Dr. Leyland. Step into the future, the world is waiting now. Dreams are in the making, we'll show you how. From the books to the screen, from the stage to the stars. Level up your game, let's raise the bar. Innovation, inspiration, it's in our DNA. Breaking through the limits, we're paving the way. Level up, reach the sky, take the lead, don't be shy. Your story's worth it, your light will shine. At Level Up Academy, it's your time. Oh, it's your time. At Level Up Academy, we rise and climb. Empowered in your passion, your voice will be heard. Building a legacy with every word. From podcasts to pages, from business to art. Level Up's the place where it all can start. With heart and with vision, we're chasing every goal. Together we'll ignite the fire in your soul. Level up, reach the sky, take the lead, don't be shy. Your story's worth it, your light will shine. At Level Up Academy, it's your time. Oh, it's your time. At Level Up Academy, we rise and climb. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Oh, we're trailblazing, breaking through the mold. Dreams are alive, let your story unfold. With courage and pride, we'll take the fight. At Level Up, we own the night. Level up, reach the sky, take the lead, don't be shy. Your story's worth it, your light will shine. At Level Up Academy, it's your time. Oh, it's your time. At Level Up Academy, we rise and climb. Let's level up and never look back. On the road to greatness, we're on the right track. Together we'll soar, together we'll fly. At Level Up Academy, we're alive.
Whoa, happy Thursday, everybody. FYI, I'm exhausted today. My bulldog literally had a conniption at 4 in the morning, start barking. I kicked her out of the room, so I'm exhausted. So if I seem like exhausted and my face looks exhausted, that's because I am, okay? I'm just trying to tell you that. Let's go ahead and put on our sponsor. It's going to be an explosion conversation today, but check this out. Now, our first sponsor here is Susanna Dawn. She's not just a writer, she's a truth alchemist, a sought-after editor, ghostwriter, and speaker. Susanna helps heart-driven leaders, creatives, and change makers move beyond the boxes society tries to shove them into. Her work is rooted in radical authenticity, emotional clarity, and storytelling that doesn't just sound good, it feels like you. If you got a story that needs to be told, but the words are tangled, or if you tried hiding behind polished personas and crave a voice that's truly yours, well, Susanna will help you write, speak, and show up with raw and powerful, real presence. She doesn't just edit your words, she helps you reclaim your narrative. This isn't copy editing, guys. This is soul alignment. Now, let me talk to you about my brother from another, Mr. Mike Asher-Brenner. He is a catalyst for clarity in a world full of noise, whether he's speaking, mentoring, or guiding others through transformative conversations. Mike brings a steady mix of wisdom, grounded presence, and no-nonsense truth-telling that helps people reconnect with their purpose and rise above the chaos. He is known for his ability to see what others miss. Mike helps you cut through limiting beliefs, outdated narratives, and internal roadblocks so you can lead, live, and love from a place of deep alignment. If you're ready to break cycles, reclaim your confidence, and show up fully in every room you enter, well, Mike is the guide who will walk with you, not ahead of you. He doesn't just hype you up, he holds you up. Scan that QR code. Now let's talk about Bass Porter. He's not here to play small, and neither are you. As a global transformational speaker, mentor, and spiritual guide, Bass brings you unapologetic truth, soul level strategy, and decades of lived experience to the table. He's walked through darkness, faced down the noise of trauma and self doubt, and came out not just stronger, but unstoppable. When you work with Bass, you're not getting surface level motivation. You're stepping into a high frequency container built for radical change. He helps visionaries, leaders, and purpose driven individuals break free from fear, rewrite their inner blueprint, and embody the greatness they were born for. If you're tired of excuses, ready to shift timeliness, and done with playing with safe, Bass is your catalyst. Scan that QR code. He also offers community support, right? For a million dreams. So once you go through his transformative courses or masterclass, you're going to have that community support. Join now. Scan that QR code. What are you waiting for? Here's one of my sponsors as well, Bella Grace. What an amazing elixir. If you are wanting to do something for your inside, your body, you feel like your joint is inflamed, or you're having those aches and pains, or you're looking so ragged and fatigued all the time, this elixir is your fountain of youth. Scan that QR code and go ahead and take us for a spin for 30 days. I know I have, and I've seen such a big difference. Now, if you are looking to learn, right, to be on the boots on the ground type about social media and the power of social media and the tips and tricks that you will never find anywhere else because nobody is telling you, they're gatekeeping this information. Here is a platform called Influencing You. I am there on Fridays, 10 a.m. PST. Join me for an exclusive freebies on there every Friday. Bye. See you soon. Scan that QR code. Whoa, whoa, whoa. It is that time again. Third year in a row. 50 inspirational connections. Now it's not just LinkedIn, it is in all your social media. Are you ready? Scan that QR code and go ahead and nominate yourself or nominate someone else who rocked your life, right? Somebody. This isn't just another hashtag, it's a movement. 50 inspirational connections is where authentic leadership, powerful storytelling, and global impact collide. We're shining a spotlight on the trailblazers, hope dealers, change agents, and everyday heroes who are using social media to build up communities, break the cycle, and amplify with purpose. Join this initiative. You're not just getting featured, you're aligning yourself with a legacy of visibility, credibility, and meaningful connection. Whether you're a thought leader, an entrepreneur, or quiet disruptor with a loud heart, this is your moment to be seen, to be heard, and celebrated across platforms that reach over 150 countries in 6 continents. Because influence isn't about numbers, it's about impact. And together, we're rewriting what leadership looks like online. DM me for more information. In the meantime, scan that QR code to apply. Wow, that was a lot. That was a lot. So let's go ahead and start this conversation with my brother from another mister. Are you guys ready? I know I look tired. I am exhausted, guys. Mike is coming up. Here he is. How are you doing, bro? How's your
Oh,
morning so far?
good morning, sis. Hey, I am same, exhausted. You know what? I didn't get my coffee. It's 12 o'clock in Kentucky, p.m. Just got my coffee, and I blame everything going on lately on the solar flare. How about you?
Yeah, it is. We saw the strawberry moon the other night, and Bella, my youngest, was trying to take a picture of it. So yeah, it's so
Oh,
amazing.
you want to
I
hear something real
love it.
funny?
Yeah, tell me.
Mama and my little one was talking, my 6-year-old, and she was like, I lost the moon. Like, Mama couldn't find the moon. So Emma went out there and, like, seriously was concerned that Mama couldn't, like, the moon is gone kind of thing. It was the cutest thing, like, the way she interprets. But yeah, no, we found it. So the moon is safe. Don't worry. No panic, April White. You're good. So here we are. Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh, that is so funny. Yeah. So another thing that I wanted to talk before we start talking is part of our community, both our communities here at Hounds and Level Up.
Oh no. Did she just leave? Am I still live up here? Lisa Fabric?
Why do
Oh,
I
there she is.
why do I always kick myself out? I've been doing that a lot lately. I don't know what's happening. This is what happens when you're tired. But
I'm
I
awake
wanted
now.
right? So guys, we still need your help if you could help us. Sister Danielle is still going through it. Elise, actually, we thought she would be going home, but she's not. She's still in the hospital. You know how it is. It just keeps going downhill after that. You know, it's like it's an uphill battle. And right now, Danielle really needs your help. Leo needs your help. Leo is her husband. Um, I mean, she just graduated in June 2nd, and then that same weekend she graduated, she ended up in the ER in urgent care, and now she's literally in bed. So we need all your help you can. Please share as many people as you can, because this is our community putting all together. It's going to be on my LinkedIn. I'll be sending you updates through the GoFundMe, and please share. Thank you so much. What are your thoughts on that, Mike?
Oh, we're helping, and we're now we're just going to spread the word to help more. Dear friend, great people. No, it's a no-brainer. I saw the first sentence and was like, yeah, no, that's what we do. And thank you for bringing this up, because how can we help if we don't know, right? So if you can help, you can't give in donation, then spread the words. Other people want to help. And so thank you for bringing that to us. We'll definitely do all we can do to support and uplift. That's what we're all about. Not just business. Hey, relationships and pushing others up, because they're more than just business people. They have lives, right? We have families, we have loved ones. So I love that you're just, there's no limit with you. You'll help people wherever they need help. And that's us too. Love it.
Yeah, we have to do it. And one person I wanted to address, they sent me a text. I think it's in WhatsApp, and said, "Hey, Dr. Leland, there's so many communities out there. What makes Level Up and Hounds of Business community different from other community?" And so I said, "I know my opinion. You guys hear all the time why I am in Hounds of Business, but let's go ahead and ask the founder, what's the difference between Hounds of Business community and other communities out there?" So take it away, brother.
That's a great question, especially without coffee. So allow me to explain it. There's two parts to that. And again, different doesn't mean better or worse. Here's what the Hounds is really all about. Good-hearted people, right? People who have careers, maybe they're in their 40s, younger, older, doesn't matter. Since COVID, we saw an influx of people going, hey, I'm just tired of this. I'm working a job I hate, et cetera, et cetera. And also, meanwhile, they're fueled by things in their life, right? Like they have family with cancer, or they have overcome some kind of injustice or inequality, right? So here's what I've seen the last 5 or so years. People say, you know what? Instead of just complaining and burying my head in the sand about all the things out there, I'm going to use, my advantage in this capitalist society to go build a business, right? I'm going to give up my perceived safety and security of my 401ks and all the benefits and seniority. And I'm going to go out there and do something as scary as could be. And that is the most amazing thing. That's how real change will happen, right? Regular men and women like all of us in this comments, the Hounds of Business, and Level Up. What the sad reality is that most won't. See, we sit here and go, why is homelessness not better? Why is this not better? Why are companies not acting better to their people, et cetera, et cetera? You know why, folks? Y'all know why. Y'all heard me say this. Because people like us, heart-centered people, don't have the resources, support to get it done. They don't have the people, resources, and support to get it done. And what that means is they go out there, right? They had a skill and they say, hey, I'm going to build a business. Oh my gosh, someone else did all the taxes and all the branding and everything else. So they don't even know what to ask. They don't even know what questions to ask. For example, think about it, folks. People say, hey, what do I do? They say, build a website. So the first thing you do is go build a website. Nobody's landing on it. It's not converting, right? Because you don't even know what questions to ask. So the long story short here is twofold. I didn't start this on accident or on purpose. It was an accident, right? And then as I formed it, I realized that all these traditional methods of sales and lead gen and how to do it didn't work for me. Work for others, didn't work for me. Well, obviously it didn't work for a lot of other people. So we have that uniqueness, right? Where we'll get into it. But the second part is it's why we want to do it. I mean, there's nothing wrong with building a business, becoming financially independent, et cetera, et cetera. But truly, the people in the hounds, gosh, we want to go out there, become financially independent, have the time, money, and freedom to do what we want, when we want, for as long as we want. Because how else are we going to drop major money on the next time this happens? We want to write a check for it. We don't want to have to go and wait. And I just want to write a check for it. The next time I see kids with underserved community without coats, I'm just going to buy it. No one's going to know I did it, and everybody's going to get a coat. Does that make sense? So we want to leave legacy. We want to model, hey, you can be all heart. You can go out there and do good things. Here's the bottom line. Good people with money do good things, and bad people with money do bad things. That's what my basic experience. So it's not saying other people are wrong. I'm saying that if you're flopping around thinking you stink, that you're not cut out for business, you're not cut out for whatever, fill in the blank, then maybe it's not you. Maybe you're trying to bash a square peg in a round hole. So it's the heart attitude and then how we approach business. Very different than traditional methods. Does that make sense? I know it's long, but I want to make sure.
No, I love that. No, I love that. And this, for us, a lot of people actually do talk in their community. I've been on a lot of communities, guys. And I choose only one to kind of put my time and effort. And this is why I love my community. Okay. Right now we've raised 1370 so far. We needed at least 50K. And it's a long battle. It's not we're going to need it in a week. It's a long battle. So this is an estimate of what we need right now. And we're getting there, 3%. So I just wanted to take the time to say thank you to the people who actually gave. Okay. First of all, the first donor, Curtis, I mean, I was shocked when he did that. So I had a sideline conversation with him afterwards. He gave $1,000. Timothy Gleason, our brother from Australia, right? Thank you so much. I don't know who Joseph Macaulay is. Thank you so much. And then, of course, Anonymous, whoever you are, thank you so much. Candace, right? Thank you so much. Michael, thank you so much. I know who that second Anonymous is. Thank you so much. You know who you are. And Paulette, sister, thank you so much. And Paulette is going through her own medical stuff right now that we're not even aware because she's not sharing it. And I'm not going to share what's going on with her, but she also needs our help and prayers. Like, they don't need, if I know somebody else is suffering, like, I will try to ask them, what can I do, right, to help in any shape or form. And, it was funny because while we were on the phone, Sister Danielle was just telling me all of her issues. And the first thing I said, I've never done a GoFundMe, but let me do that. By the end of the conversation, before we hang up the phone, I had it all ready. And all I did was, I need this, 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 and this. And she's like, okay. And then I asked her what she's comfortable with, right? So I put it in. And by the time of our phone call, it was already done. That's literally how quick I am. The difference between our community and other communities is the action and the giving without expectations. A lot of communities, when you give, there is expectations. There is no expectations with our community. We give because we can. We give because we love to do it. That is a huge difference. And, there are always people that's not going to agree to what you're doing and doesn't get what you're doing. Instead of taking the time to get to know and ask questions of why, they just assume that you're just this person. And it's okay. Like Mike said, it's self-selection. And so I'm okay with that. But that's really, what we're trying is, we have one mission, guys. Mike and I have one mission. And the people around us also has one mission: impact and legacy. That's literally what we're trying to do. That is our mission, right? And we are two people, we are two leaders in the same platform, trying to do kind of the same thing, but differently, because we have one mission. We don't see ourselves as competitors. We see ourselves as collaborators, right? Because people might like Mike and don't like me, or people like me and don't like Mike. It's okay, because our mission is the same: impact and legacy. Mike, I have a question for you.
Hold
Let's
on, real quick. You already know I was about to bust. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Let me explain it. That's what I mean. That's why we choose to collaborate. And by the way, side note, I am gobbling up other great communities like us, like Pac-Man, dude. We are fine. When I find somebody that shares our values and alignment and they're doing great things that complement us, why in the world would we duplicate that? Why would we create more competition and saturation in the marketplace? I'm like, holy cow, they got the solution, right? We're cookies and milk. So if you're out there going, hey, we got a community that's like that, well, then you need to call us. Like, here's CJ, here's Mike, right? Like, talk to us because we're leveling up to that level. But let me explain this. What that has done for us because of these kind of people, because we attracted them, because of what we do, not what we say. When we go out there and bring things like this and anything to people's attention, they just do it. That's what the remarkable, beautiful part of this. People don't say, well, no, if the Hounds, if Lewis says it's good, we know it's good, right? It's been vetted. We do things. We're not perfect, but that's what I mean. And that's what we're looking for. If you're out there and you have a community or organization that people just trust, right? They know that you're going to operate in their best interest. Oh, we need to talk yesterday. So thank you for that opportunity. I didn't mean to derail it, but that's it. We're not perfect, but we will do the right thing. I will never sell a bald person a haircut. You got my daggone word on that. I will send you wherever you need to go to succeed. And that's why people like this.
Yeah, because I don't refer people a lot. I'm not one of these people that just like, oh my God, refer. I don't because I watch because that's my reputation,
Your brand.
right? If you continuously refer someone and they don't work out well, that means you didn't care enough to know me to refer someone that I don't even like and doesn't even align with me. And I'm like, I don't know about that person, right? And I
Right.
always give without question because I know that you need it most. I have given so many things to so many people in this platform on LinkedIn, and at the end of the day, they just end up crappy people. And I'm okay with it because when I give, I didn't have any expectations that they would be my best friend. I gave because they needed it. And
Right.
it's between them and God. That's it. I don't have any
Okay.
expectations. And so my next question is this. Let's talk purpose. Is it found, created, or remembered? What do you think?
Woo. The next one, please, Alex. No, I'll take something else for 100, Alex. Jeopardy reference. All right. I'm not the expert on this. However, dealing with people all day long and myself, people are crazy. I'm one of them. That's one of my favorite mantras. But, you know, here's what I do know. Ask, seek, and knock, right? Like it's one of those things where when you're intentional and you wake up and go, hey, I don't really have a purpose, right? That's where it starts, right? So I think it's found within ourselves, number one. You can define success, right? We're grown. Our parents tell us what success is and how to act and be and all this. We're around the same people, and then at one point you just say, hey, I want more, right? I want to be somebody. I want to do something special, right? So that's self-mastery. That's where it started with me and many others, right? But then I would say it's created. Right? Everything I had, and you and most people we run with in the Hounds and Friends of the Hounds, right? Think about this. We had dirt. You can't even burn dirt. Like you get Rochelle, like what she was able to accomplish by sheer passion and will. She just couldn't take it anymore. Cancer people and patients and survivors, it just wasn't good for them. So she went out there, blood, sweat, and tears for years and paid the price. So it's created. So you have to find it and don't shortcut that. Find the purpose. Do the inner work. Ask the hard questions. Work on you. And guess what? For me and many other people, that passion, that purpose comes out of that. So it starts with self-discovery, personal responsibility, and doing that nasty, uncomfortable work. But let me tell you, there's not only light at the end of the tunnel, there's light in the tunnel. That's where this is found. That's what I had to go through, right? All the
Yeah,
things
I've
we
seen
want to
you.
avoid, got to dive into it.
I've seen you in that tunnel.
Yeah, a
We
lot of
pull
folks
each
have.
other up. We pull each other up because at the end of the day, we need each other. It's just better together. That's it. Like think about the magnet guys, right? If you have one magnet, it can pull certain amount. If you have two magnets, it can pull certain amount. If you have 10 magnets, it pulls a lot more. That is the point of having alignment with people. Okay, imagine that magnet situation. If I have to answer this myself, let's like, is it found,
Yeah,
created, or remembered? Actually, it's all of the above. First, you have to have clarity of what your purpose is. A lot of people we're raised to go to that racetrack, a shortcut version, or work hard, play hard, follow the rules, go to college, get married, and you'll be successful. And you
Yeah.
still find that emptiness, right, in your belly. There's something that's just missing. Or maybe it's just me. But I was actually, my daughter, my youngest, my 17-year-old, she is reading Tao Te Ching, Tao Zu, which is a Chinese for walking really in life. But she was saying, I asked her, okay, so she finished a whole book in an hour, and I asked her, what did you get from it? She said, Mom, it's the emptiness that you need, because when you're empty, you're full. I'm like, oh wow, I have a philosopher explained, right? And she said,
Yeah.
when you actually empty everything that you have, you actually are full because you attract the best thing. I said, true, because when we come into this earth, he goes, they want you to be an infant. And I said, why? Because an infant is an empty, it's a blank page. And when you grow up, your environment, your family, your brothers, your sisters, your siblings, your spouses, your exes puts more crap on you. So you're literally carrying a backpack of trauma, right? So if you empty all that backpack and said, I need a new backpack, pack me up, right? And so emptiness is actually great because that's when you get satisfied. I'm like, that makes sense because their song, like, I don't know if it was Brian Adams, I don't remember when they said, like, if you love someone, you got to let them go. It's the same thing. So when you trying to find your purpose is when you do more, then you'll figure out what feels good. Yesterday's conversation with Curtis, actually, he found his purpose even doing during his work, right? When he volunteered with the kids versus what he did for the movies. And he didn't feel good about what he did, but he felt inspired to do more for the people because for the kids that he did as a volunteer. So sometimes you found that purpose by doing, and then you create alignment towards that purpose, which most of us are doing at this point, so that you can have that legacy. You want to be remembered for something else? Why don't you make sure that you celebrate the people who are still alive? That's what I do for 50 inspirational connections, is to
Right.
be remembered, to be thanked, to be inspired by someone who's still alive. Because we celebrate people and we like Van Gogh and Abraham Lincoln. Did you know when they were living, they're probably destitute and really, really, really stressed out because no one was thankful? Why don't we change
Oh,
that and be kind and be great today and say thank you to the people who inspired you? And that's what I'm trying to do, a movement for that. Now, Mike, I have another question for you, bro. If someone gave you the mic to speak to the next generation of misfits, rebels, and dreamers, what would you say in 30 seconds?
probably same thing I always say. It's because that's me. Um, define success for yourself. Seriously, you've been told what to do. You've been told what to think. You've been programmed indirectly, directly throughout life. You're grown now, right? As a child, you thought as a child. Now you're grown. You're an adult. All right. Stop and say, hey, am I doing this? Is this feeding my soul? Right? Is this who I truly am and want to be? Who's it? Or is this what I've been conditioned to be? Am I working this job because I love it, or am I scared to leave? Do I feel obligated? What if I can't pay the bills? See, we just have to have these brutally honest, hard conversations. And listen, no, I have friends, have support, have people like April and folks who know like how to guide you into this, right? Like that's why we do what we do with the soft skill. We're not being hokey and woo woo. But this, think about it, folks. Think about this real practical. You can have the best sales scripts, best models, best everything, marketing, branding. But every time you speak or post or any communication, if you don't believe it, how do you expect others to? If you're not 1000% convinced that I have value, I am doing something here, then how do you expect them to believe it? So when you do all these things, when you take the deep dive and you start to really become who you are, and by the way, not only is that convincing, because listen, everybody can listen to me and say, you don't like it, you don't agree with it. But you know what, dadgummit? There's no way on earth you could say it doesn't exist or it ain't true. Oh, we passed that, right? So what happens is that as you go through all of this nasty stuff that looks like pain and hopelessness, you know what that really is? That's your dadgum story. And what is more relatable? Think about it. I have a business to solve a problem. Most of the time, that is my problem. I went out to solve my problem and went, oh, I can help other people with that problem. And what's more convincing? But so there's a person that had nothing wrong. Everything was handed to them. They had a silver spoon. We don't watch movies about that. We don't want to hear that. And I daggum sure don't pick that person to invest in a business transaction. What I want to know is, like David Manansky, right? Beautiful story. You're too fat. You're going to die. You need a new doctor. Get out of here, right? And then the man goes, researches, climbs Mount Kilimanjaro. That's why he's running with us, because that's real. He just didn't write a book to sell it and make money. That was a real story. So that, to me, what you're avoiding because of your pain and whatnot, you got to flip it. What if that's actually the catalyst? What if that's actually my story that other people will flock to, come to, run to? They don't come to the house because we got tools. Everybody's got tools. They don't come to Lua because it's fun. It is, but they come because they feel a sense of belonging, and B, value of conversion. This is not just kumbaya. You're going to make money, but you don't have to do it in a way that makes you feel weird. You don't have to do it in a pitch slappy DM everybody kind of goofy way. You can do this in an organic, heartfelt way. So if you're out there thinking, hey, it's not work, that keep going, because that mess is now going to be the testimony and story that makes people come to you, not your just fancy tactics. Does that make sense? What y'all thinking?
Yeah. First of all, it does make sense. Second of all, you just failed at 30 seconds. Okay.
Y'all didn't really think I was going to go 30 seconds, did you, dadgummit?
I was hoping. I was looking at it, but April.
Under 30 minutes.
All right. April, I like this. I feel purpose is created. It is what inspires us to keep living with intentions. Yeah. For me, it's literally look for and then created and then be remembered. So
you remind yourself. You remind yourself, right? When you forget your purpose and you're all scared and panicked, you got to think, hey man, this is not an accident. This is real. And that's that story. That's that horrible story that you overcome that keeps you also going, not just people flocking to you. Love it.
Exactly. For me, this is my 30 seconds attempt, guys. To every misfit, whoever fit the mold, every rebel told to sit down, and every dreamer afraid to be too much, I see you. Okay? The world doesn't need you to blend in. It needs you to stand firm in your truth, in your story, in your fire. Stop waiting for permission. Build your table. Take up the space and speak like your voice will rewrite history, because it will. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be audacious and unapologetically you. That's where your power lies. That's my answer. I'm sticking to it. Oh my God.
Look who you're talking to. Y'all look at us. Like, we're not making this up. Look at us. And that's what I mean. This is not a costume. I did Larry the Cable Guy in reverse. It was a different, this is me, but I never let me out. And that was I could have been, wearing a suit and trying to, this is what I mean. Have courage before confidence. This is truly living the ups and downs, facing problems, going through it, going through the pain and joys of life, man. This is living. I think I'm living for the first time in 44 years on this earth.
I love it.
It is amazing. So join us. Don't say you're bad and all this stuff.
Nah.
Start looking at different stuff, guys.
Here's my next question. You've walked through some storms. I know. Okay. What experience taught you the most about using your mic with integrity? One experience, Mike. One
30-minute. No. Let's see. Gosh. It to me, it's the ultimate test of my, integrity was, you have to be an oak tree to see no tumbleweeds, right? So the one thing that never changes is change. That's the one certainty we can bet on, that things will just constantly change. And here's the deal. No matter how much you may want something to exist or love something or someone, you have to be mission focused. You have to be looking so far, like 20, 30, 50 years down the road. So here's what it is. I never say anything bad. But what I love to do is to shine a spotlight on people that, for example, let me put it, this is a tough question for me. Put it this way. I saw a few people in my life recently, right? And I liked them and I knew them, but some things in life, some crazy things happened, and I got to see behind the scenes, right? I got to see stuff nobody knew I saw. And that excited me because it was almost like getting a notary stamp from God saying, hey, this people, good people, right? And it was one of those things. And so they don't have a clue. Most of them don't have a clue. But what I do is I go crazy because the world has so much negative. People are being trolled and pushed down and manipulated and beat down like every nanosecond, constantly. So what, to me, using the microphone is to be the fire, or to be the water to that negative fire, to be the positivity to counter it. So what I like to do is highlight the positives, right? We know what the problems are, but who's really sincere about solving them? So what I love to do is when I see good people out there, boy, I can't spotlight them enough. I will shout them out. I will tell them on a DM. I will tell the world. And I think that's why we're here today. That's why we're elevating in tough climate. Because instead of discounting and trying to figure out the next way to get somebody to buy something, we're sincerely sitting here going, who can I elevate? Who can I push? Because I'll stop. Everybody expects us to advertise and say we're great. That there's nothing wrong with that. I send stuff out and you get to see it. But you know what they don't expect? This is what makes it so miraculous. They don't expect hundreds and thousands of super pros of all walks of life with good integrity to say you're great. You can't manufacture that, make that up at the corner store. No one's going to put their reputation on you unless that's true. And that's the appeal. So my point is, instead of engaging in negativity, listen, I see negativity. It fuels me. Everything you see me and I would say CJ produce is a response to something that we don't like. But instead of arguing and just running our mouth, we go and make the antidote to the BS out there that we don't like. So go out there and be a force for good. If you think that, for example, you know, this segment of women are being underserved in this entrepreneur, you know, arena, then you need to go out there and blast them out. Be the antidote. Does that make sense? Like and that's what excites me. It's not about me, man. I want to grow huge because how else can I help all these people who could use that help unless I grow to that level? Whoa. And I don't talk about me. Guess what happens? They talk about us. You don't talk about you. We got all these amazing people out there saying, wow, you got to check this out. So take the emphasis off of you. Once you know who you are, now the question is, who's like me? And go love on them. You know, like it's
alignment.
Yeah.
That's alignment. And that's one thing I love about what you just said right there. I want to highlight before I answer this question myself is, you know, we love to use our platform for good because there's already a lot of negativity out there. For me, I think the storm that taught me the most wasn't public. It was personal. Walking through the pain of betrayal by people I trusted, especially those who tried to dim my light or infiltrate my mission with hidden agendas, taught me that not every voice deserves a mic and not every platform is sacred. I learned that mic is a sacred responsibility, this mic, not a spotlight for ego. When I finally spoke out, not in anger, but in truth, I realized the power of my voice wasn't just in what I said, but why I said it. Right now, I only speak from a place of alignment. It's not rooted in, if it's not rooted in love or legacy or liberation, I just leave it unsaid because not saying something is actually saying something. Right. So, yeah, I love that. I'm going to take a 30-minute break because I want to make sure that we have not a 30-minute break, a break within this 30 minutes of conversation. And while I'm on that break, I want Mike to really think about this question for a minute. Okay. We both bring different energies to the mic. How do you see our voices complementing each other to serve the bigger mission that we have, which is to create more people who are like us, right? Meaning what? Good-hearted, wants to give the community and wants to better our community for everything. So think about that while I will put this one for now.
Yo, it's not just a scroll. It's a movement. Let's get it. Yeah. Tap in, level up, this the real lane. Dr. Leyland dropping fire, not playing games. 50 deep with the mission in the voice. Ain't just talk, we the power, we the choice. We spotlight rebels, dreamers, queens, bosses, builders, legacy machines. You want truth, you want real. This the type of vibe that you feel and heal.
From the mic to the gram, LinkedIn too. 50 connections, yeah, that's the crew. Wanna grow, wanna shine, wanna be seen. It's the dopest network on the scene.
So don't just lurk, engage, ignite. Click that follow, change your life. This ain't hype. This the tribe on a mission, level up style.
Legacy edition. Legacy edition. Legacy edition. Legacy edition. Legacy edition. From the mic to the gram, LinkedIn too. 50 connections, yeah, that's the crew. Wanna grow, wanna shine, wanna be seen. It's the dopest network on the scene.
So don't just lurk, engage, ignite. Click that follow, change your life. This ain't hype. This a tribe on a mission, level up style.
Legacy edition. Legacy edition.
Legacy edition.
You have more songs than I've heard. My goodness.
Listen,
that
listen, I went cray for now that I found out how I can write my own songs stanza by stanza, flip it, try to help my stanza again, look for people's inspiration, then get my vibe on, and then create it on AI. I was like, hey, I'm unstoppable. Like that's what I
It
think.
took me 10 years. Took you like maybe 10 hours, right? I don't know. Like crazy.
You're so funny.
Man.
But I love it. I love it. So here's the thing, okay? This is what I wanted to ask you, right? We both bring different energies to the mic. And how do you see our voices complementing each other to serve our bigger mission?
Great question. I'm going to be extremely vulnerable about something I didn't even realize and happened in elementary school, if I may. And I'll keep it shorter, but I can't remember what I did yesterday. But for some reason, I can kind of see back and recall little glimpse. I remember they took us some field trip, and on a huge screen, like IMAX type of screen, they showed Martin Luther King Jr., right? And his I Had a Dream speech. And at that time, I had no friends and couldn't fit in elementary school. So I was reading all these books on leadership, everything from history, anything and everything. Gandhi, Malcolm X, you name it, right? Like I was reading it. So what I realize now is the way we respond and how we lead. Content and character means everything to me, right? Because that's what I work on in me. That's the whole thing. It doesn't matter how good something is if it's not reliable and if it's going to bite you, who wants it? So here's what I found. Not everybody's going to relate to me. That's the whole key. I have something special, but it's not about me. And not everybody's going to relate to me, especially on the surface, right? But they will relate to you, right? And so what I learned is that it was very interesting. Not focusing on where people came from and their backgrounds, just focusing on the content and character. For example, I didn't go and start a relationship and see what you were all about 2 years ago because you were Filipino Chinese. I did it because I liked what I saw, I heard good things, and you impressed me by how you pushed up your students. Now, bonus points that you happen to be Filipino Chinese, right? And so what I noticed is that when we went out there looking for content and character and alignment and that, we were attracting the most diverse community you could find per capita, right? So to me, it's so wonderful that if somebody doesn't want what I serve, they don't relate to me, they might relate to you. I don't want to be a barrier to entry, right? And we complement each other because while we're similar, we overlap, right? So I sell cookies, you sell milk in a lot of these exchanges. So instead of me trying to duplicate it or figure out who to send them to that won't, do them harm or serve them right, I know who it is. I know it's you. And here's the comfort level. If I send someone to you and you're not the best fit, you'll send them where they need to go. Somebody vetted that you trust. So I love our voices on and off the mic because it's real. There's no faking. This is not scripted. We didn't talk beforehand. I didn't get the link until 10 minutes before I came. And I think that's really what it is. We are both real. Whether we disagree, it's not coming from a place of how can we get more in our funnel. Yeah, we want to sell. Yeah. We want to sell because you heard what we said, because you know you can trust us and that we relate to your pain point. And if you don't, we're here when that happens. But that I love that. To me, that's I know it's a little different than what most people thought, but the mission isn't about me. The mission is when I die, somebody put an oil painting somewhere of my redneck camo hat because we done something so extraordinary that now the torch is being passed. Generations are carrying on that legacy. What happened to me and you and all the folks out there is not happening anymore, at least in that level. There's a solution in the making. Think about it this way. The fire department's goal, no more house fires. How realistic is that? Not, but it's still the daggum vision. That's the mission. And that's how I look. Can I save the world? No. But boy, one at a time is good enough for me. Now, because of our energy, because of our synergy, we could do 10 at a time, 20 at a time. We scale up. Does that make sense? Because that's how I view this.
Yeah.
Yeah, they come to me. They don't need me. They need you, dadgummit. Boom. Now they got a solution. That's how we make.
I love that. The way I see it, because I'm a very structured person, so I feel like I bring structure and strategy differently. I bring legacy building differently. And we both are coming from it from rooted experience, heartache, and our purpose. You bring raw fire, gut truth, and emotional charge that cuts through most of these social media noise. So when people says together, yeah, we're head and heart, storm and calm, blueprint and breakthrough, right? Our voices complement each other because we speak from different battlefields, but our fight for the same mission is one mission: visibility, healing, and impact with legacy sauce, right? One mic, two lanes, same destination. That's the kind of collaboration that doesn't just echo, it shifts that room, right?
Oh,
Because we are one in the same with two different people and two different thoughts and two different experiences. But at the same time, we're rooted in our heart. We want to help others level up, whatever that means to them. And so that's what I love about it. Now, because it is Mental Health Month, Mike, I actually want to ask you this question, and I asked Curtis this question. So many men equate silence with strength. What would you say to a man right now, who feels like asking for help is admitting defeat? What would be your advice?
oh, yeah, me too. Especially when you come up in those kind of, old school machismo, like country redneck kind of, like we're raised to be tough and all of this. But here's my challenge to you. First of all, because anything I say will probably fall on deaf ears. Go back and look at some of the interviews and people that are in the Hounds who are doing this, like Boz. Do you understand? Boz is former SAS, right? Like, so he's special forces. Boz does it. So if you look at somebody like Boz and John Kirkhoff and these kind of service guys, you don't see this overtly machismo, I'm too scared to ask for help. They do. They're vulnerable. That's their strength because they're so strong inside of themselves that they don't have nothing to hide. They have nothing to prove, right? So for me, it's an internal job. So, I know I was fed the same definition of manhood, right? And some of that was toxic. But as a man, guess what? The most manly thing to do is to redefine it. And then it was nice to go out there and attract these kind of men that also felt the same way. For example, if somebody has a death or some kind of tragedy, we cry with them. What's wrong with that? But, oh, well, you cry? Yeah, listen, I don't cry over stupid things like spilled milk, but dadgum straight, I'm a human being, right? If some tragedy is there and I have a friend in need, I'll cry with them. But also, if somebody's gaslighting me with crying, ooh, all right, I hang up because I know that's not real. So I think that's what I like about men like Curtis Rivers, right? Hollywood stuntman, very successful. What he does is inherently dangerous, right? Like a daily. But look at him. He don't need to act tough. He is tough, right? So the tougher you get, the less you have to act. And that's where it goes right back to that internal self-mastery healing journey that I'm always preaching. So I'm saying redefine it. Hey, if you're a man, be a man. Redefine what that manhood means. And by the way, instead of arguing about it, what a good man looks like, just be one, dadgummit. And that's up for you to decide.
I love that. Thank you for sharing that. Also,
You're
I
welcome.
actually promised the CEO of FeedSpot emailed me yesterday CJ, Dr. Leland, can you please share? I'm like, okay, I'll share what's happening. So I'm gonna share two things with you guys. This one is the FeedSpot badge that they give me, top higher education podcast. He didn't think that I was sharing it, but guys, here it is. Okay, I'm gonna share the link also on Friday's podcast tomorrow. Another thing that I wanted to share that he wants me to share. Hold on one second. I'm sure he's watching. So here is the other one. Let me see if I can find it. Here is the other one. And I did share this in Susana. Susana tried to share this as well. So this is the 80 best higher education podcast. I don't know how they picked this. I didn't even know I was one, honestly, until I got the email. But if you go scroll down to number 38, oh, there it is. There's moi. There is Level Up
Wow.
Academy.
Congrats.
And the reason that I wanted to share this also is that Mike and I, we work hard so that we can grow our platform. And as we grow our platform and as we align people who have the really amazing zone of genius, but they're not seen, they're not heard by anybody, we elevate you. And the bigger our platform gets, the better that your messages gets aware all over the world. For me, it's 6 continents and 155 countries now, which I'm loving. I still can't get Antarctica. I told Curtis, if any time that you might be like feeling like going to Antarctica, please let me know. Just hit that button, listen, so I can claim 7 continents. And he started laughing. They're like, there's only scientists in there, CJ. I'm like, I know. But this is for you, CEO of FeedSpot. Here's what it is, okay? He emailed me yesterday. Are you sharing? Yes, I'm sharing. So thank you so much for giving me that badge of honor. I love it. And I
Well earned.
appreciate the shout out for that. Mike, this is my last question for you today. Okay. Um, what would you think is the biggest silent struggle men face when it comes to their health? And what would it take for us to normalize healing instead of hiding?
Man, thank you for this one. This is the easiest question. Shame. That's it. Shame. All right. Well, how do you say that out loud? Because it's true, dadgummit. And because we have an expectation, society, our family, we kind of get boxed in, to use Susanna's thing, right? And so redefine it. So that's it. We're ashamed to make mistakes. We're ashamed to be vulnerable because someone might hurt us, might judge us. Let's get, and how do you fix it? How do you normalize? Have the conversation. Listen, when I started talking about this, I don't talk about it constantly. It's not my identifier. It's not why I'm in business. It's not the core of the community, but it's an important part. So one day I was watching, we were doing a show and I saw somebody pop in. It's a while back. And here's what I said. I said, what's the most manly thing to do, guys? Kick a stray cat on the way home and treat your family like garbage, or dig inside and figure out what's keeping you from being who you truly are? Because that's not you. And afterwards, they said, why'd you say that? I said, because someone there needed to hear it. And if I'm not courageous and bold enough to say it, who's going to? But how, you know why I had the courage? Because a man I respected came to me and said, hey, I've been there, knock it off. He called me a bad word in public one day, got my attention. But you know what? I said, listen, if this kind of man, do I want this type of man to think that I'm that person? No, because I aspire to be like this man. So when you have the hard conversation, and here's what happened. I got amazing millionaire tough guys coming to me going, hey, I made a bunch of money. I don't have a lot of purpose. I got people that are special forces folks out here taking courage, getting beat up, right? Sharing their internal struggles and pain inside. And we're doing something about it. But this is the stigma that needs to be gone. I'm sick of it. I don't subscribe to it. And don't you throw it at me. Real, healthy people, right? And even we're people first, then we're men and women. So knock it off, because these guys aren't coming to me going, oh, you're this and that. They're going, thank goodness somebody said that. So, and by the way, last point, that's it. You're just like, well, how do I find the people who are going to subscribe to this? Who also feels passionate about my passion and what I want to do in business or in life? You got to be courageous. Courage before confidence. Courage to put your hat on, do this, and look like a donkey if that's what's going to happen. Because otherwise, you're going to have an average life that's not really your life, and you're going to get to the end of that life and it's going to be too late. The one thing you can't control is time, folks. Get on it. Stop wasting it. Start living.
I love that. It's
There we go.
Mental Health Month awareness, right? So I actually wanted, Susanna and I were talking about that on Tuesday and said, we're going to dedicate our Sundays to Unmuted by Design for men as well, right? And
Yeah.
we love opinions on that. Now, for me, I think the biggest silent struggle I see men facing is the pressure to suffer in silence, like what you said.
Yeah.
So many men are taught that vulnerability equals weakness, that asking for help is a failure, and that emotional pain should be swallowed, not spoken. And that silence, it's killing them mentally, physically, spiritually. I believe that healing starts when we stop demanding strength and start celebrating honest humanity. It's not about fixing men. There's nothing wrong with them, really. Well, some maybe. But it's about freeing them from outdated expectations. We need to build spaces where men can feel without fear and break without shame, like you said, and heal without apology. Right? That's not soft. That's real strength to me. So thank you so much for that. Any last minute thing that you would
Yeah.
like everybody to know, Mike?
Real quick, find a mentor, find someone, go online. Like, why do you think David Goggins is out there? People can relate to that. Oh my gosh, maybe it's not Goggins, maybe it's Peterson. Who cares? Go find you a real man in your estimation, and say, oh, because he'll challenge your worldview. He'll destroy that. Well, that's a real man, but he's not acting like I thought a real man should. All right. And so challenge yourself with that. You don't have to go out and tell nobody. Just do it, because that'll take care of itself. That's what happened to me. And you're right. It will kill you on the inside. It's like drinking rat poison, man. I don't care how tough you are. It's poison. So don't poison your own mind. Go out there and find the antidote. And the last thing is, if you're trying to, if you're in that spot where either you're trying to say, look, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. I want to build a business. I want to go out there, leave a legacy, build a nonprofit, grow it, scale it up, whatever. Don't do it alone. You got me, CJ, Lua, Level Up Academy, Hounds of Business. There ain't no sales going on over here. You come, you can not come later. We don't care. What we want to know, what we want you to know is we're here for you in your best interest to help you where you're at. And we can go out there and grow together. And that's what's happening. You saw the rock stars we got. So don't do it alone. Hey, Hounds of Business
No,
on
don't do it
YouTube,
alone.
LinkedIn. Send me a carrier pigeon. Let's have that conversation. Show up, make friends.
Okay, I thought I had a last question, but this is my last question. I promise. Okay. If your voice disappeared tomorrow, how would you still carry your mission forward? And this is for everybody who's also watching. But Mike, this is my last question. I promise.
And by voice, do you mean like brand, like, what I've got, or do you mean like literally?
Both. What you've got. Like, let's say that we just said, I'm done doing this. We don't want to do live stream anymore. It's exhausting and people are just being bullies at this point, and I want to focus on me and myself and I'm done. So how would you still carry your mission forward?
I don't know, and honestly don't care. Here's why. Once you have the it fact, once you have this in your mind, once you're healthy, I've seen men and women grow $1 million businesses, lose it, and build $3 million businesses. So once you focus on the formula, focus on all the things, because that's what matters. It's you, the builder. It's not the circumstance. It's not what, this country, you could build greatness and get it taken away from you in one hour, right? It's sad. It happens a lot in this country. But do it anyway. Do it anyway. Trust yourself, trust the process, and understand. You turn dirt. Listen, I turn dog poo into fertilizer, and I teach other. So I'm a gas leak. I've never had a clear advantage. Very rare. So start becoming what you need to be to get it done. So I don't care if yes, it would destroy me. I would hate it. It would be awful. And then at some point quickly, I'd pick myself up by the bootstraps and I would take the lead, and I would trust God and I would trust myself to figure out chapter 2. That's it. And that comes with true healing. That don't come. I couldn't have said that last year, dadgummit. So proof positive. Thank you for that.
Yeah, I'm trying to think about that. If my voice disappeared tomorrow, my mission wouldn't skip a beat. because I've already built the platform, the people, the movement that speaks louder than I could ever do it alone, right? I planted seeds in authors and my students and the leaders that I've spoken to and the rebels who now carry their own mics with purpose. I have helped 5 people do their own thing now, right? So my mission lives in every life I've helped amplify, every book I've published, every podcast I produce, and every circle I've created where people feel seen. So my voice may fall silent, but my impact, that echoes will keep rising because legacy doesn't rely on volume.
Oh,
It relies on vision. So
and
that's how
people
I
who
see it.
poo-poo on the relationships, that's why you'll build faster, stronger, because you have so many people who won't care and they will build with you. So checkmate, right? It's the people that will build us in the next direction. They will not, just because the platform left does not mean that the heart and passion left. It actually got worse, right? So keep that in mind. Invest in people because that's your real resource. When everything else goes to, wearing a handbasket, it's those people that will pull you from the ashes and rise you to the next level. Not scared of it. Great question. And thank you for being that person for me and the Hounds. You are an instrumental part, and we absolutely love and appreciate the heck out of you, and you know that. So let's go do it
Yeah.
bigger together.
Definitely. Make sure that you guys, know that our mission doesn't depend on a microphone. Okay. It lives in the systems that we've built, the people that we've empowered, and the movements that we've ignited already. Right. We turn literally our pain into platforms and purpose so that the story is the strategy. The truth will come out, right?
yeah.
We don't just speak purpose, it's infrastructure that we've created. My voice is an asset, guys. It's not an engine. If I had to go silent, the mission would still move because why? I've built that to outlast me. That's the point of legacy and impact. It's not about you and the current you right now. It's about you and the current future of when you don't exist anymore. However, 50 Inspirational Connections is built to celebrate you today so that while you're still alive, you're celebrated, not when you're dead, because you're probably going to live in heartaches anyway. But please thank those people who made a difference in your life, really. And I beg everybody to do one, right? Kindness today. One, whether you say hello, you call somebody else, you text somebody else, just one today, guys. I definitely appreciate that. Bye, everybody. Thank you guys so much for being here. We'll see you tomorrow at Influencing You. If not, I'll see you on the podcast. Audio from Curtis's interview, and then Sunday with Susanna Don. Bye, everybody. Thank you, Mike, for being here. I
Thank
appreciate
you.
you, bro.
My pleasure.
See ya.
I started in the silence, behind closed doors. Dreams too loud to keep tucked in the floorboards. Late nights, broke days, no applause in sight. Just coffee, hustling that fire to fight. They said, play small, but I'm built to expand. No silver spoon, just grit in my hand. I will every note, like armor and steel. Visibility's a battle, but I'm real and I heal. From invisible threats to the front of the stage, I'm rewriting the script, turning scars into page. Level up, rise above the fear. Let them hear your voice, make your purpose clear. Every step, every stumble, every tear in the rough. You were made for this moment, you are enough. Level up, break through the doubt. Turn the whispers of your past into a victory shout. You ain't just chasing clout, you're building a legacy. Now the world's gonna see what they couldn't believe. Yeah, yeah. What they couldn't believe. See the back end, just a headline glow. But success is built slow, where the struggle don't show. Algorithms change, but your mission's divine. You're the brand, you're the vision, you're the power behind. You gave free just to prove you have value inside. Now it's invoices paid and your name amplified. You're not just in business, you're changing the game. And your visibility, that's more than a name. No more shrinking, this is expansion. No more asking, this is commanding. You've been the spark, now you're the flame. Entrepreneur by fire, fueled by name. Level up, rise above the fear. Let them hear your voice, make your purpose clear. Every step, every stumble, every tear in the rough. You were made for this moment, you are enough. Level up, break through the doubt. Turn the whispers of your past into a victory shout. You ain't just chasing clout, you're building a legacy. Now the world's gonna see what they couldn't believe. What they couldn't believe. lost friends, the risks you took, to the brand you built and the space you shook. Here's your crown, your moment, your spotlight beam. You didn't just chase the dream, you became the dream.